Perfect. Well, first and foremost, please excuse that I'm in my car. I'm traveling, but I would never miss this new graduate student orientation. My name is Dr. Denver Fowler. I serve as the Associate Dean for Graduate and Undergraduate Studies here on our campus at CSUB. And before we get started, I just want to say that we want to thank you for choosing CSUB for your graduate studies. As you know, we have 20 plus graduate programs, 19 plus credential, 6 plus professional certificates, 3 plus academic certificates, over 2,000 graduate students, and over 12,000 graduate alum. And we know you have a lot of different places you could go to for graduate studies, and you chose us. And I want to thank you for that. We also have several individuals here that I want to recognize here in a minute. And you'll be hearing presentations from all of those different individuals from different stakeholders and in campus centers across our campus. And let's go ahead, slide, Martha. And Martha's navigating my slides for me, so do the bottom left there. Oh, back one. Is that the second slide? Okay, so I want to highlight, as I just mentioned, Martha Manriquez. She's the coordinator for the Graduate Student Center. I also want to highlight all of our graduate program directors, some of which are on this Zoom call with us. So be sure to say hello and introduce yourself in the chat. But without any further ado, I want to introduce Erin Pruitt. Erin is our ASI president, and she's going to share a few words before I get into my presentation. And I will pass the microphone to Erin.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's such a pleasure to be here today. My name is Erin Pruitt, and as Dr. Fowler said, I am the ASI president this year. Thank you so much for that introduction. So just want to kind of give a quick word about ASI, who we are, how we're here to serve you. So ASI is the official student body president, and hi, AJ. Wonderful to see some wonderful individuals that have come back. But ASI is officially the student body here on campus, and as student body president, I'm the official voice of all students here at CSUB. So I really encourage you, if you know where the student union is, to come and stop by. That's where I'm actually currently in my office right now. But ASI, we work with campus programming, the student union, so many different departments on campus to host events for students, as well as to get to know you, talk to you, as well as we have a lot of advocacy work, and we talk with different groups, kind of like the Graduate Center, for resources, and we let students know additional resources throughout departments on campus if they have questions, concerns, or want to find more support. On campus, in my role, it is to outreach, and we do have a director for graduate students. This year, we were not able to get one this past semester, but we do have a spot in a space that's available. Unfortunately, this last year, we ran into a lot of students that wanted to apply but had not had their first semester of units down. So hopefully this semester we will be officially having somebody welcome them to the team, or normally we'll have like a social that happens for graduate students. And be able to provide those resources and have your official voice represented when it comes to meeting with cabinet members and different department deans, associate deans. And so we're really here as a resource and a way to support you. So if you ever see me on campus, please say hello. We have different individuals. We have an executive board that has like a VP of campus life. So if you have any ideas of, you know what, during my undergraduate, I really love this event, I really love this resource that was available for students, please come and talk to us, and we can work it into our event schedule and have some things so we can accommodate and make things to really enhance your experience here at CSUB. As also, I just want to say welcome as a returning student, because for those who were joining us at CSUB as an undergraduate, welcome back home. For some students who maybe didn't attend CSUB, welcome to CSUB. I hope you enjoy your time here. If you ever have any questions, resources, or just need a friend to come say hi, I'm so happy to meet you all and look forward to hopefully seeing you around campus.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Erin. And I just want to echo Erin's comment that we will need an ASI graduate director. So, and hopefully we'll have someone in place this semester. But if not, after you complete your first semester, you may be eligible, or further down the road. So please keep us in mind as you continue to navigate your path in graduate studies.
And,
all right.
And Dr. Fowler, do you mind if I add something just real quick?
Good.
I was going to say to follow Dr. Fowler, if you are thinking you're going to be interested and want to have your voice at the table and be that graduate student representative, please reach out to Dr. Fowler or myself through our email. Even if it's like, you can't do it this semester, but you want to, when we have our transition period, I can make sure I put your name and send it forward to the next year's board as well.
Awesome.
That's all.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President.
All right. And Martha, if you could just navigate to the next slide for me. So again, I want to welcome everybody and give you a chance to do introductions. And so the way we do this, if you could just put your name, what graduate program you are in, and your why. So why are you in graduate school? Please put that in the chat. And that would be a great way to introduce yourself to everybody as I'm going through my presentation. And I'll share a little bit more about your why and a way to reference that as you're going through your program. Slide. I'll just say slide, Martha. That'll be easier. Okay. Again, congratulations. You're joining an elite group. For those of you that may or may not know, only 13.1% of the U.S. population hold a master's degree, professional degree, or doctoral degree. And for those of you that are entering the EDD program or our doctoral program in nurse practitioning, only less than 2% of the U.S. population hold a doctoral degree. And so you're joining some elite company. Now, attrition rates, 50% of all master students and 50 to 70% of all doctoral students. I only highlight that not to be negative, but to highlight it to say that's not going to be you. We're very student driven at CSU Bakersfield, and you're going to find the support you need to ensure you make it to the finish line. You're going to find that our faculty, our program directors, our doctoral program directors, our administration are very student focused, and we're always going to do what's best for students. So ignore those attrition rates. They're not going to be you. Slide. So a little bit about the Graduate Student Center, and I want to preface this that we're currently closed. The Numenor building is currently closed. I hope it's going to reopen in the spring. But when it is open, just these are some of the services we offer. So you see our conference room there, the entrance to our building, our graduate student lab. But, we do new graduate student orientation. That's what you're in right now. We have professional development workshops, events, a graduate student lab and lounge where you can access computers, printers. You can do poster printers for conferences where you might be presenting your research. We have that conference room there with brand new technology in it. You can sign up for that. I know some of you have used in the past that are on this call. And then we have fellowships and awards. We have the equity fellowships that you can apply for, the Faculty Diversification Fellowship Program, Sally Casanova Pre-Doc Program, and then the Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program. We handle all of those applications and informational sessions. We answer policy and procedure questions. So when it comes to being a graduate student and you're referencing the graduate catalog as you navigate your graduate education here at CSUB, there may be times where you need interpretation of policy or procedures. We're here for that. We do a publication of a graduate newsletter. You can actually access that on the Graduate Student Center website. And then we do Dell laptops. So for those of you that maybe want a laptop to check out for the semester, you can do that through the Graduate Student Center. And then last but not least, we have student mentor opportunities, which I'll get into a little bit later. In fact, I think somebody else will be presenting on that. But we have our RAMP program. Slide. So I did mention these two programs, but I want to make sure I highlight them because they're two opportunities for graduate students that are thinking about getting a doctoral degree. So there's the Sally Casanova Scholars Pre-Doctoral Program, which is really focused on increasing the diversity within the pool of faculty in the CSU. And that includes things like travel funds, professional development funds, and summer research opportunities to help students prepare for and succeed in their doctoral programs in their chosen field of study. And that application cycle is right around the corner, but you could always think about next year as well. And you can see some of our past recipients at CSUB their photos. And then we also have the CDIP program, or the Chancellor's Doctoral Incentive Program. And it's a forgivable loan program which aims to increase the number of promising doctoral students applying to future CSU instructional faculty. So coming back and being a professor within the 23 CSU campus system. It provides many grants, travel funds, and support for collaborative teaching, research, and service. And again, you'll have a copy of this presentation sent to all of you, and it's accessible on our site, and you can use those links. But if you're interested in either program, please schedule a meeting with me through Martha, as I currently coordinate both of those programs. Slide. And just to come back to the RAMP program, and I believe another presenter will be highlighting this in greater detail, but that pairs our juniors, seniors, and graduate students with CSUB alum that are currently professionals for an academic year of career preparation coaching. So that's a great opportunity. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on it. One of our presenters will get into it, but take full advantage of these resources that we offer here on campus for graduate students. Slide. So the Division of Graduate Programs, we're the Graduate Student Center. Again, we're normally in the Numenor building, but that is our phone number, that email. We're still working the number and the email, even though we're not in the building right now. You have access to the Graduate Student Center website, and then of course the graduate catalog. And then there's links to our social media in this PowerPoint that you'll be able to access later. But we have a Facebook page, Instagram, Twitter, now X, a LinkedIn, and then we have a link tree that you can access through our website. Next slide, please. And again, I wanted to keep all this in here because I don't know when our building is going to open, but just for reference, if you know where the water tower is in the baseball field, that'll give you a frame of reference there on the map. But we're just past the baseball field and water tower on the right, and we're in the Numenor building. Again, we currently are working remotely as they work on our building, but when we're back in the building, that's where you will come if you want to use the lab, sign out a laptop, use the conference room, etc. Next slide. So I wanted to share a little bit about the Division of Graduate Studies program's mission. And the mission is to prepare students with discipline-specific intellectual skills for employment or continuing education. So through our post-baccalaureate programs, the graduate division provides all students numerous opportunities to achieve academic excellence, explore diverse ideas, develop a passion for higher learning, and engage with graduate faculty and the community. Next slide, please. And these are our division goals. We provide campus-wide leadership in graduate student affairs and academic policies, which I mentioned earlier. We develop and sustain a graduate culture with a sense of purpose, direction, and cohesiveness. I know Erin mentioned those grad socials. We're hoping to bring back this semester, but that would be one example. And then ensure that all graduate programs are current and meet high quality standards and demonstrate student learning. Lastly, build an inclusive community of scholars dedicated to the quest for new knowledge and higher learning, both within and outside of the classroom. Next slide, please. So again, I talked a little bit about who we are earlier as far as the programs we offer, but this gives you a snapshot of our 20+ graduate programs. We have 2 doctoral programs, 2,000 current graduate students, 12,000+ graduate alum, 19+ credentials, 6+ professional certificates, and 3+ academic certificates. And not all of them are even listed here, but you can get an idea of what colleges on campus the graduate programs fall within. So, for example, you could reference the College of Social Sciences and Education. And you see there, that's where the MS in Counseling Education, Educational Counseling, Educational Administration, Special Education, Masters in Social Work, and the Educational Leadership doctoral program are all housed in credentials. So if you're looking, this will give you a good a frame of reference of what colleges house those respective programs. Next slide. So we are recognized in recent rankings. I have just the 2020 to 2023 listed there. We'll update this with the 2024 and 2025. But you can see some of our programs are ranked extremely high, both in the region, throughout the nation, in U.S. News and World Report, amongst others, Money Magazine. But you'll get to come back and reference this, but you can see our graduate studies and our graduate programs are ranked both regionally and nationally and receiving numerous accolades. Next slide. And these are some of our older ones, and I just have the list goes on, but you look, that's just from 2014 to 2019. Again, highlighting our graduate programs here at CSUB, and you can see all the different bodies that are recognizing our programs, from Time Magazine to U.S. News and Report, the Council of Graduate Schools, Western Association of Graduate Schools, and so on. Next slide. So I love to share this 6 tips for success before we transition to other presentations. But these are things that are proven to help all of you as you navigate your programs and complete your path in graduate studies. So number 1, carve out the time to study, to write, and essentially to do the work. I know sometimes through a lens of andragogy or adult learning, we're all juggling a lot of different things when we're in graduate school. And so my biggest recommendation or tip for success, carve out the time to study, write, and do the work. The Graduate Student Center, we have the writing hours each Friday on campus. That's a great place to go somewhere quiet and do your writing and studying. But wherever it is for you, figure out where that place is, carve out the time to do the work, and so you're successful in your program and in your courses within your program. Find your study area. So maybe it's at the writing hours that the Graduate Student Center offers, which is on campus. I believe below the library is where we've been hosting that. But maybe it's in the Graduate Student Center and the Graduate Lab. Maybe it's a local coffee shop. Maybe it's at home, etc. I know for me, and I really don't have a real good answer for this, but I had to kind of do different places and change it up. So I would do different coffee shops. Sometimes I do it at home. Sometimes I do the office. But I made sure I carved out the time. And I can tell you, when I went through my graduate program and later my doctoral program, through both programs, you know, I was already married, I had children, I had a full-time job. And so I was juggling all of that. And so I can certainly relate. Just make sure you carve out that time to get the work done. Be organized. So I highly suggest going out and buying a blank flash drive and organizing all of your papers within folders that are titled after each course in your program, so that you're easily able to reference that information back and forth as you're going through your program. So save your files through the lens of, you know, underscore, you know, the title of the assignment, underscore your last name and the date, so they're easily accessible for you to reference as needed. So be organized from the get-go, and it's going to save you a lot of time as you go throughout your program. And as I've shared here, we have all of these resources on campus, from GSC to the university resources, many of which you're going to hear from our presenters today. But seek help when you need it, okay? Don't be afraid to ask for help. We have all these resources on campus for you. That's why they're in place. So when you need the help, seek it out. If you don't know, we'll point you in the right direction. Contact Martha or myself in the GSC, and we'll get you to where you need to go to get that help. And then work-life balance, you know, that's the big one. Take care of yourself. I was guilty of not doing this when I went through my graduate program and doctoral program, but carve out the time to maybe it's exercise, spend time with your family, whatever it may be, and do it in a way that's healthy for you while you can still be successful in your program. So just make sure you're maintaining a healthy work-life balance. And last but not least, I asked everybody early on, I said, place your why in the chat, whatever that may be. Remember your why. On those days as you're going through your program and you're like, I can't do this anymore, I'm behind on my assignments, you know, remember what your why is and why you joined the program in the first place, and come back to that. For me, it was my daughter. And, you know, I always kept a picture of her nearby when I was going through those programs. And it was my motivating factor. You know, it was extremely hard when I was getting my graduate degree and then later my doctoral degree. But whenever I had those moments of like, man, I just can't do this, you know, I would remember to look at her picture and remember that's my why, that's who I'm doing it for, and keep going. Okay. So write it down somewhere and revisit it as needed. Next slide. So again, thank you so much for choosing CSUB. Again, we know you could go anywhere for grad school and you chose us for your graduate or doctoral program. And we're happy you're here and we're ready to support you. Next slide, please. And next slide. Okay, so next up, again, we have a slew of presenters there, as you can see. And next up, we have Eric Lord from the Counseling Center, Services and Group Workshops. I'll pass the microphone to Eric.
Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to Cal State Bakersfield. We are so excited to have you. My name is Eric Lord. I'm the director of the Counseling Center here at CSUB. And today I'm going to just kind of give you an overview of what the Counseling Center offers for students, grad students in particular, obviously, and how we are different than other types of counselors on campus. If you can go ahead and go to our next slide there, or maybe I can. Oh, there we go. Thank you. Okay. So as I said, with the Counseling Center, we provide mental health therapy, relationship therapy, just basically any kind of therapy as far as it goes when it comes to our relationships in the world and our connection with the things that we are a part of in our world. That's what we're here for. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 licensed therapists here at CSUB. And 1 part-time therapist up at the Antelope Valley campus as well. We have 2 new therapists that'll be joining us fairly soon. So we're very excited to have enough therapists to really meet all the students' needs here on campus. How we differ from other counselors on campus is that we're not academic advisors and we're not career counselors, and that those are 2 different kind of expertise in their arenas. They're academic advisors, kind of guiding you along their course pathway toward graduation. Make sure you stay on top of all of what you need to do to get there. And career counselors are just that. They are looking at all the aspects of what you're going to need pre and post graduation out in the world when you embark in your career, whether it's a new one or continuing on in where you've been. With counseling at the Counseling Center, we provide mostly individual counseling to students, and there's no fee to that. It's all paid for through your tuition. It's in the student fee section of your tuition. So you don't have to bring an insurance card or any type of cash payment or copay or anything. So it's already taken care of. We provide an individual counseling mostly that can speak to the mental health concerns of the students. That can be anything from depression, anxiety, even if you were diagnosed previously, or maybe you haven't been. The other things could be bipolar disorder, schizophrenia. We've seen everything here in the Counseling Center at some point or another. I've been here 12 years now and I've seen quite a bit. And we want to take care of you as a student as much as we can. So we provide a lot of that counseling for mental health concerns. We will also provide counseling for personal concerns. You don't have to have a diagnosed condition to come see us. You can just say, look, I'm overwhelmed. I've got a lot going on, and I just want an objective opinion from somebody at the Counseling Center. And so there could be personal concerns, could be relationships, not just significant. It could be, worked with folks that are getting divorced and or just having trouble in their marriage, as well as others that are having trouble at home, maybe with parents or siblings or friends, even roommates. And just kind of helping folks navigate those types of relationships, communication styles, and all of that. So, and then all other concerns could be financial concerns or even, as it says, their academic concerns. We are that kind of that bridging that gap between your academic world and your personal world and what else is going on for folks. I bet you I could pull everybody in this orientation today and ask, what are some things that are stressing you out? And I'll get a whole plethora of different responses from folks. And that's how we are. We're human, and that's what it is. We don't stop being human because we go to school. And so many years ago, the university system, the college system realized a lot of students were stopping out, not because they were hurting in their degree or in their coursework and their academics. It was other things that were happening in their life that were maybe hindering them from continuing. And so we started instituting a lot more of these student wellness type of programs and entities to help folks along the way and make sure you get where you want to go. And we hope that's getting to graduation and onward to your career. We also provide some group counseling as well, and you typically would get an email, so keep an eye out for those. Actually, very soon you'll be getting some emails that'll talk about different groups we're having. Group counseling is more kind of therapy in general, but with a group, and you're kind of expected to share a little bit. You kind of grow with that group in time. And then your workshops are a bit more educationally based. There's a PowerPoint involved typically. We talk about maybe like an anxiety group and the depression, workshops. We talk about the brain. We talk about how we're affected by our senses and our world around us and the systems we're a part of. And you're not expected to necessarily share in a workshop, but you're welcome to. And so, and those can be offered in person or sometimes over Zoom. You can sit in the comfort of your own home and just kind of tune in and learn a little bit and maybe share and listen to other stories. And then we also teach general studies courses. I have a general studies course called GST 2200. It's peer education. And we talk about suicide prevention, alcohol abuse, and depression. And so this is very helpful for those counseling psych students and others that want to be involved in that kind of work. Students learn a lot about this, and then they go out into the campus community and they provide presentations. And we do a number of other general studies courses depending on the semester, sometimes parenting skills and stress management courses. And those are 1-unit courses as well. Typically, a lot of the undergraduates end up in those, but I've had some grad students in the past. And again, this is all paid for through your tuition, so you don't have to pay for it, except for the general studies course, of course. But all the therapy is taken care of. The reason counseling works, or one of the reasons, is because it's confidential. You come in, and by law, we are the one place on campus that we, by law, cannot tell your story to anybody else. And so we have a mandate to report child abuse, elder abuse, some dependents who are, anybody that's a dependent being abused, or those that are planning to complete suicide or harm somebody else. We have to make sure everybody stays safe. However, outside of those parameters, everything you say within the counseling center walls stays in these walls. You can authorize us to talk to others like doctors, maybe even connect with a professor, but we'd have to have you sign a form that instructs us where we're going to go and what we're going to talk about. And so that's really why therapy works. It's why it's really effective, because we're not talking about that with anybody else. And again, all our therapists are licensed clinicians. We have a clinical psychologist, clinical social workers, and marriage and family therapists. And I see that they've just posted the counseling center services there. So please go to our website, csub.edu/counseling center, and just kind of see what we're offering. I'm in the process of updating everything that we're offering for this semester. And we look forward to seeing you in our office if you need us. Please reach out. You may also see us around campus, providing presentations, doing outreaches. We do a mental health awareness event in April. It's a pretty big event, food and all of that. And you're welcome to join us there as well. Thank you for having us here today, and look forward to seeing everybody in the future. Thank you.
Okay. Am I back? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I'm having issues with my phone. Eric, thank you so much for that information. Next up, if I'm reading my notes correctly, Martha, correct me if I'm wrong, we have Lenny Perez, and Lenny is here from Services for Students with Disabilities. I'll pass it to Lenny.
All right, thank you, Dr. Fowler. And there it is. All right, again, my name is Lenny. I work over in Services for Students with Disabilities. And as it sounds, I mean, that's what we do. We provide accommodations for students that have some kind of a disability, could be learning, could be physical, medical conditions included. So again, if this is possibly you or somebody that you know, or a service that that helps out students on campus, those that have had services with a department like us prior to CSUB usually seek us out. If you're not familiar with the services, and sometimes it's a little bit harder to know that we're here. If you look on the CSUB map, and as Erin said before, welcome to CSUB if you're new, or welcome back if you're continuing from your undergrad. If you look at a building map, building number 10, don't know how much that means unless you're staring at a map, but what used to be the Veterans Center, they've now moved. We're still in our same spot right around the corner from financial aid. So right before you walk out into that parking lot, there's a ramp there. Right before that, that's where our building is, if you haven't been there yet. And I put our web address on there. As most things, everything starts online when registering with our department. So who are we? We've got a small staff. We've got Dr. Jason Watkins. He's our acting director. He also oversees basic needs. We have an assistant director. I'm listed on as a third name. I go by Lenny, but Leonard is my name. We have a learning disability specialist as well, which can do learning disability testing, and I'll talk about her services in a couple minutes here. Patricia and Sally sit up at the front. If you ever come into our office to say hi, you'll most likely meet both of those ladies. Mary Norton is our sign language interpreter. So those students that need interpreters, that happens out of our office. So some of you may have seen an interpreter in one of your classes before, interpreting for somebody who is deaf or hard of hearing, and that again happens through our office. And then Shelley Brooks works out in Lancaster at our Antelope Valley campus. Shelley works out there as our sole counselor, and helps out students out there. So if you're physically closer to Lancaster, she can provide services over on the ABC campus. Nope, a little bit too far. So our mission, provide support services which enable every student, regardless of disability, to have access to a university education. A lot of the times people think, oh, we make classes easier for students, which is not the case. I use a sports reference to say we level the playing field. If there's something in a student's way that is not allowing them to access their education, again, it could be something physical, it could be something psychological, could be a learning disability. If there's something there that's prohibiting a student from getting the most out of their education and equal access, then that's when our department it comes in. And again, not making things easier. We can't alter the fundamental elements of a class. So there are still things that every student must do. But again, there are some services that we can help out with. Things that we don't do that may be done in other in the K through 12 level is the extending deadlines for coursework, or allowing for additional excused absences, beyond what the professor outlines in a syllabus. So those are some of the things that again, those aren't really accommodations. In some of those instances, we can work with professors if something is going on, students have a medical condition or medical appointments that they have to be at and may miss some classes. A lot of the time the faculty will work with us, and we try again to do something very reasonable. Accommodations are not a guarantee for success. So we have students that, they get accommodations, they need a little more help, and we try to be very resourceful and refer them off to a lot of the wonderful departments that we have. I've referred students over to the counseling center, as Eric was talking about. We have a great tutoring center, many departments and services that we can help offer or refer to. But again, accommodations, again, they're not a guarantee of success. Doesn't mean they're automatically just going to do great. Students still have to put in that work. And also accommodations are optional, as I tell students. if they feel like they don't want to use an accommodation for a certain class or a certain semester, that's fine. Some students register with us, feel like they may not need our services, but they register with us kind of as just a safety net, as I've heard. And so some students may go through and not use us, but we're there. And sometimes that makes a difference, just knowing that these services are there. All right, so I skipped to this earlier by accident. Who is eligible? This is just a small example of the types of conditions students may have that we can help out with. ABI is acquired brain injury or traumatic brain injury, and that can affect students in many different ways. ADD and ADHD diagnosed with that we work with to help provide accommodations. The autism spectrum disorder, we don't see a whole lot of students on the autism spectrum disorder, but we do have students we help out with ADHD as well. Deaf and hard of hearing, I mentioned that before. We do have a sign language interpreter. Learning disability. Now that's the only thing where we do an assessment. And I mentioned our learning disability, Tiana Keith. She's we're lucky to have her here to provide that service. So we can do testing for learning disability. What's important to know is that Tiana will not give a diagnosis. Students want to get diagnosed for ADD or ADHD, but what she does is evaluate and determine if students are eligible for accommodations. So again, no diagnoses are given, but we can do learning disability testing. Not all campuses do. And as if you heard before as well, Eric mentioned that their services, there's no charge. And the same thing for us, whether you're getting tested for learning disability or you're getting services in a different way, which I'll go over after this. Again, our services are included in what you're paying to go to school here, so there's nothing additional beyond that. Mobility limitation, psychological and psychiatric. The visual limitations, and that can vary. We can help students out in different ways, depending on the severity. Medical condition, that's something that I've added recently. Sometimes, students have approached me that they may be battling cancer or have lupus, and they may not think, well, that's not really a disability. And it may or may not be, but, anything that is not allowing the student to get their education. So medical conditions, and then temporary, something happened, you got injured, or there's something that's going on just temporarily. Maybe you're getting a surgery that's going to affect you. We can help out again, even if it's just a temporary basis. All right, what are the kinds of things that we help out with? I mentioned the learning disability assessment. And so again, that's the only assessment that we do. The students that I see, typically we have a form that they get completed by a healthcare provider. So whatever your diagnosis is, we ask you to get that signed off on. I'm not the person that determines if you have a disability or not. We count on the healthcare providers to do that. So once that paperwork is turned into us, then we go based off of that. All of our students get priority registration. And so, as graduate students, this still applies, and I know there are less of you registering than undergrads, but it's still something that's included with to our students. Common accommodations or extended time on exams, and what typically goes along with that is a reduced distraction environment, meaning you get to come into the office and take an exam. Sometimes, and you might have been here before, whether it's a disability or not, sometimes the testing environment just isn't that fantastic. Sometimes you know the material, you can recite it in and out, but when it comes time to sit down in a room full of people with a time limit, there's anxiety that takes place sometimes. And sometimes that can be very impactful on our students. And so if eligible, students may not only get extra time to complete exams, but take it in our office outside that environment. So, that helps a bit sometimes. Note taking, if students need help with the note taking process, we help arrange something in this area as well. We rely on students to take notes in class. We rely on volunteers. So we have specialized notebooks we give our students. They can then approach someone in class to be a note taker, use our specialized notebook, which creates a copy of the notes when someone writes on them. If they don't feel comfortable doing that or can't find someone, then I try to work with the faculty members to find a volunteer. I say about 90% of the time we're successful in-person classes in finding somebody. The other thing that we revert resort to if we need to are a program called Glean. It is a transcribing and recording program that's it's free to use, but there is upgrades that need to be paid, and if students are have received this note-taking accommodation and like the Glean program as well, we can pay for an upgrade for students. And again, this will give you a transcription of the class of the lecture as well as record the audio, which leads me to tape recorded lectures. Sometimes professors allow you to record, sometimes they don't. But if it's an accommodation that our department has approved, then again, students will be allowed to record. We can give them a device to record, or they can use their own device. ASL is the American Sign Language Interpreters that I had mentioned, adaptive computer equipment. If students need something else in the classroom, whether it be because they're hearing impaired or visually impaired, there are some things that we can help out, and we can help provide some sort of programs on campus. We don't provide programs for students to install on their own computers or give them to use away from campus. But if they're deemed to use some kind of a program, whether it be a screen magnification program or a speech-to-text program, we can give them access to those here on campus. Alternate media is what people sometimes refer to books on tape or audiobooks. So we can provide digital copies of any of the students' textbooks if they apply, if they're eligible for this. And again, they use that with a screen reader so that they can have their books read out to them. It's usually a PDF or a Word format. Again, any of their textbooks I will find in electronic format. In cases that we can't, the print shop here will cut the spine, scan the book, rebind it, and then that's how we get that electronic copy if it's not out there on some of the resources that I use. Let's see. How do you qualify for services? First off, you have to be enrolled. So whether you're a graduate or undergrad student, once you're enrolled, you can complete our application, which is provided online. Provide current documentation. So there are two different ways. I'll go over that on the next slide. Our accommodations are based on functional limitations. That's what we call, that's the main thing that we list on our form. So when healthcare providers are filling that out, functional limitation is how is the student impacted? How are they limited by a diagnosis or diagnoses? And that is what we have to use and base accommodations on. And I mentioned already before, there is no cost to the student for our services. So what's the documentation? Most likely the first two won't apply to graduate students, probably even transfer students. An IEP or 504 plan is something that you get in high school. Same with the annual or triennial psychoeducational assessment. Those are the IPs, have something done in their first and third years. So these are the types of forms that Tiana will look over. So students that are coming in that still have an IEP that's no later than about 5 years, she's able to look over this and provide accommodations. If this paperwork is too old, then Tiana, again, she can do an assessment herself. So that's the learning disability side. So you're either going to turn in one of these plans. If you don't have one, you'll have Tiana do a learning disability assessment. And then if not, that verification of disability form, this is the form we provide on our website. This goes to your healthcare provider. It could be a medical doctor, it could be a nurse practitioner, be a therapist, could be a psychiatrist, some licensed professional that will give us information in terms of your diagnosis. And again, those functional limitations, we want to know how is this impacting the student. Sometimes it might just be signed off as this person has ADD or ADHD or general anxiety disorder with no explanation of how that affects a student. And sure, I'm familiar with some of these, and I can look it up. But you know, everything's different with each student, so we want to get that information on this form that we provide. So with that documentation, and then there's only this is our website. I've circled where you would go to apply. So students just have to go to our website. They'll follow the instructions here listed on step by step. 2 things to fill out online, plus the third thing is that documentation, whether it's an IEP, whether we do the assessment, or you get a form completed by your healthcare provider. One of those will typically work out, plus the 2 things you fill out online. So that's three things that we ask of our students. Sometimes getting something from your healthcare provider can take a little long, but once that's in, the process goes pretty fast. Our learning disability process takes about 2 weeks. It takes Tiana maybe a week to get through the testing, mixed with about 2 or 3 appointments, and then the assessment done a week after the last appointment, and accommodations will start on the day of your meeting with a counselor. So either Tiana or I will be meeting with students, and I have one initial meeting with the students, go over their paperwork. If Tiana's testing, she has several. So at that final meeting is when accommodations are provided, and they start right then and there. There's no deadline to apply for our services. Of course, the sooner the better, but there's no cutoff date. Students are registering all throughout the semester. Some students are registering a week before finals. It doesn't matter, get in there as soon as you can. Again, if you feel that this is a department that may be able to help you, if you know someone who may be struggling, there could be a learning disability involved. There could be something that they're battling that they're not sure that they can get services for. So again, if you know someone that could use our services, again, please give them that information. I'll leave my contact in the chat before I go. And then I'll just leave the last slide here is our email along with my email. We do have an Instagram that we post things on, our events and so forth. Phone numbers for the main campus and the AV campus. Our website's on there again. If you just go to the main website for CSUB and type in /SSD, you'll find us. And I think that's about it. Thank you very much for listening.
Awesome. And I want to thank Lenny for sharing all of that information. Next up, we have Gerardo Bobadilla from Equity, Inclusion, and Compliance.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Gerardo Bobadilla. I'm part of Equity, Inclusion, and Compliance. I'll be talking a little bit about, I'll be talking about Title IX, because it's very important, especially because there's some dates that are coming up for everybody. So again, my name is Gerardo Bobadilla. I am the OVW Project Director. So the mission and vision of Title IX. So the mission, the Division of Equity, Inclusion, and Compliance promotes a shared responsibility to create a harmonious community. We lead these efforts through collaboration, education, and advocacy. Our vision for our division is we envision a university and campus community where we honor and respect the life journey of each individual, actively listen to the needs of our diverse communities to continuously learn, forge collaborative partnership to advance equity, inclusion, and justice, and empower individuals to champion for the betterment of the region and beyond. So what is Title IX? Skip that. So what is Title IX? So Title IX protects people from discrimination based on sex and education programs or activities that receive federal financial assistance, including colleges and universities. So basically what Title IX includes is protection against sex-based harassment, protection against sexual misconduct, including sexual harassment, domestic violence, dating violence, sexual assault, stalking, and sexual exploitation. Protection and accommodations for pregnant and parenting students. There's also lactation rooms that I'll talk a little bit about in the next couple of slides where it's located at. And the reason that Title IX started is it started in athletics, and it was for gender equity in athletics. In 1972, Title IX became a law, and that any university or college that receives federal assistance must obey by, because a lot of the started in athletics, how the women felt, women college athletes realized that they were not getting treated the same as the male college athletes, meaning they were not getting the same scholarships, they were not getting the same equipment, they didn't have any place to practice or even have transportation to go to the games, as compared with their male counterparts. They had access to the gym, equipments, clothing, transportation, and even some scholarship opportunities. So basically, they spoke up against it, and the government says, you know what, you're absolutely right. So it's not fair that only the men are getting this equal treatment. But then they realize that they have to expand it, not just for athletes, but everybody that is in a public university receiving any federal money needs to make sure that there's no barriers for students or something that is impeding them for continuing their higher education. So reporting sexual misconduct. So as a student, if you ever encounter or witness sexual misconduct, you can report it to university. So you can report it to our active Title IX coordinator, who is actually Jorge Villatoro. Marcus Brown actually, his last day is today. So he's been a great person. He's worked here for 11 years. But Jorge Villatoro will take over for the time being. So if you need to report anything, you can always contact Jorge Villatoro. The university can assist with accommodations, support services, filling a police report, and filing an administrative complaint. Again, if you have any questions or concerns, you could always contact the Deputy Title IX Coordinator, Jorge Villatoro, and I'll have his contact information towards the end of the PowerPoint slide. And if you have any questions, feel free to unmute yourself or type it up in the chat. So options for reporting. So there's different ways for students to report. I was glad that the counseling department was there first, because that is a safe space, meaning that they're not there to report every single thing that's going on, compared to a Title IX. When you do talk to make a report, there is kind of maybe some investigation that happens, or maybe following with the individual what's going on. So if you need to report, you could always talk to Deputy Title IX Coordinator Jorge Villatoro. That's his email. And area contacts, there's different area contacts. So the first one is Emily Callahan. She's a Dean of Students. Hilda Nieblas, Housing. Ruby Alvarez for Student Organizations. And I believe Cindy Goodman is no longer for athletics, it's another person. So the other person for athletics, I'm sorry, let me pull up that information that I could give to you. So if you're an athlete or you know any athletes that wants to report, let them know that they could talk to Andrew Dickinson, and he's in athletics. And I'll put his information in the chat box, as well as there's another individual, Dr. Debbie Boschini from Faculty Affairs. You could always contact her if you need to make a report or anything that's going on. As well as if you don't want to make a report, but you still want to get assistance, and there is confidential services. So we do have a campus advocate. For the time being, I'm stepping in to do some campus advocacy work, but I'm not the actual advocate. I am confidential, meaning that I don't report anything to anybody, just like the counseling center. So I am a person that you could, contact, ask any questions, email me if you have any information or need any assistance or want to clear up a question. You could always email me or use that email, and I'll be able to get that information, and I could respond to you and let you know what we can do. As well as the counseling center, please take advantage of the counseling center, absolutely free for students, so take advantage of that. And as well as the student health services, which is limited confidentiality. And the student health service does make reporting if they feel like something is against the law, like domestic violence, they're going to hurt themselves or hurt somebody else, then they would have to sort of break confidentiality there. But the student health services, as well as STI testing, pregnancy test, morning after pill, they also have condoms, absolutely free for students. So if you have any questions, feel free to go to the student health center, student health services, or give them a call, and they'll be able to provide you with more information. And lastly, you can always report to law enforcement. So that's the law enforcement phone number and the non-emergency phone number here at the main campus at CSUB. That's their emergency number. Definitely, hopefully you guys memorize it. So the last four numbers is 2111. So give them a call if there's an emergency or anything like that. But if there's not an emergency, you can always give them a call, and their extension, that's their phone number. They don't just provide assistance or help if it's an emergency or dire need. For example, I know UPD has also stated that they have helped students with when their car battery dies, so they could help them do like a jump start, as well as, let's say that you're a student on campus and you're walking late at night on campus and you don't feel safe, you could give them a call. They could escort you, so they'll walk with you to your car, make sure that you're safe and secure So again, utilize them, absolutely free for all students. Don't hesitate to reach out to anybody in these supportive measures to get that help. So all incoming students have to do a Title IX training, and is mandated by the Chancellor's Office. So all students in every CSU campus has to do the Title IX training. And the Title IX training is basically sexual misconduct, domestic violence, resources, and what to do. So all of you will be receiving an email with our department's information and letting you guys know to make sure to do your Title IX training. So there's two different options to do your Title IX trainings. So the first one is that you could do it absolutely online on your own time. So when you receive that email, it will give you information as where to go, how to access your information. You would just need your regular CSUB credentials, how you log in to anything here on campus. And once you complete that, you would do the training. It's about an hour long, and you have to take a pre-test, and then do the training, and then you do the post-test, and you have to score at least an 80% or higher. And I know for a fact that all of you guys could pass it on your first try. It's if you pay attention and go and read along with the slides and watch the videos, you absolutely get all the information, and you won't have to worry about, not passing the exam. But if you don't want to do the online training on your own, you could always reach out to me and email us and letting us know that, hey, you want to schedule time to do an online training with me. So I would do like a Zoom training with you. We won't have to do the pre-test and post-test. So we would just have a sort of like a conversation and a PowerPoint presentation about resources, what is domestic violence, sexual assault and stalking, what to do, and how to support any survivor, and as well as how to support yourself. And I know the training is not actually due on September 24th. That was from the previous semester. So for everybody that is enrolled now, any transfer student, anybody starting this spring semester, your deadline will be March 3rd, 2025. So you have to complete it before then. If you don't complete it by March 3rd of 2025, you will have a hold in your account, which means you won't be able to register for classes the following semester. So again, do it at the beginning of the semester, get it out of the way, because you don't have a lot of work to do. You don't have a lot of reports to do, anything like that, no exams. So get it out of the way the first week or two, because if you wait towards the middle or wait towards the end, that's when you'll have your midterms and all the paperwork's piling up. And on top of that, having a hold in your account and won't be able to register for classes, that could be sort of a stressful situation. So email us at t9training@csub.edu if you have any questions about your Title IX training. If you want to schedule a one-on-one training with me, you don't want to do the online training. Again, email us. Well, let's say that you do the training, and you still have a hold in your account. Email us, and we'll make sure that we'll lift that hold from you. And we also do pregnancy accommodations. So if you know a student that is pregnant, or let us know. We'll be able to help them out, especially for we don't want students, because they're pregnant, they're going to miss classes or not be able to participate in some events on campus, or somebody telling them like, hey, you can't participate or enroll in this class, because that would be kind of discrimination and is part of Title IX. So any pregnant student or anybody that you know that is pregnant, let them know to contact us to make sure that we help them out. As well as we do have a breastfeeding and a private nursing room. I know there's one in the library, I believe it's in the 3rd floor. And the other one is in the Dreamers Resource Center and Multicultural Alliance and Gender Equity Center in the Rohan building. So that is in the old dorms. So you could come and utilize those lactation rooms whenever you need, as long as those buildings are open during regular hours. Other resources, we also have make sure that there's availability of pads, tampons on campus locations. We also have single-use or neutral restrooms locations. So one of them, again, is in the Multicultural Alliance and Gender Equity Center, as well as we have pronouns and affirmed names. Um, okay. Oh, thank you, Athena. I'll make sure to put the link right now in the chat box. So pronouns and affirmed name. So CSUB offers students the option to use a firm name or other than their legal name to identify themselves. Again, if you don't have to ask for your parents' permission or anything like that, or sign something, say like, oh, like my parents have to, you know, have permission. So in order to change your pronouns or your preferred name, no, let us know and we'll work with you to make sure that the professor understands that, and that when you're in a classroom, they, you know, they have your correct pronouns and your assigned name. As well as we have a prayer rooms on campus. It's in the library 3rd floor. Students, you have make sure to ask for access in the front desk, as well as in the Magic Center in the Student Housing West in the Rohan building. Again, it's in the old dorms. And these are, this is an old slide, but at the moment, Clara Katoda, Marcus Brown, Ludi are no longer part of our division. So as of right now, it's just myself, Gerardo Bobadilla, and as well as Jorge Villatoro. So this is our emails. So please email us with any questions or anything like that. And I'll make sure to put all the links and all of our contact information in the chat box. And as well as we'll be having a campus advocate really soon. We'll be hiring one stateside. So hopefully in the next 2 months or so, we'll have somebody that provides, you know, advocacy support that is confidential and supports any students with sexual harassment, sexual assault, stalking, domestic violence, dating violence, sexual exploitation, anything like that. You can always contact the campus advocate and they will not report anything to anybody. And for the time being, I'm the one answering the emails. So if you still want to email the campus advocate, feel free. I'll be able to answer any questions that you have. Again, I am confidential resources here. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Gerardo. And next up, we have Jasmine Padilla, and she's going to be presenting on behalf of the Dreamers Resource Center, Multicultural Alliance, and Gender Equity Center. Jasmine.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Perfect, thank you. Sometimes I doubt it because
Yes,
of the headset. Thank you so much. And I hear Alan, thank you so much for confirming that. I'm just looking for the controls here. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Jasmine, and I'm excited to welcome you today, especially in particular to CSUB, and share some incredible resources available to you as you dive into this exciting chapter in your life. So congratulations to you all on being here and choosing CSUB as your graduate school. 2 of our most valuable resources for creating a supportive and inclusive environment are the Multicultural Center, also known as MAGIC on campus, and the Dreamers Center, which is the Dreamers Resource Center. I am new to my role, so I have been here for approximately 7 months, and it has been very rewarding to serve in this role. And so first, let's get started with MAGIC and what we offer here. MAGIC is a very vibrant place, space designed to celebrate diversity and foster inclusivity, inclusion. So here's what you can expect here at MAGIC. So we host workshops and events throughout the semester, depending on the season, of course, with spring coming up. We have a line of various spring events. So those will go out to you all in your email, social media. Pretty soon I'll show you the slide where you can follow us through our page, which is through Instagram. We host cultural celebrations, dialogues on social justice, and other opportunities in terms of professional development that are tailored to your needs. We hear back from students, and so we try to use those voices to then tailor our upcoming topics and other forms of celebrations that we can do based on what students are interested in seeing here at the space. Another expectation from our center is our support services, from mentorship programs to leadership training. For our student leaders, we actually house some multicultural clubs and organizations here at the center. We have spaces and lounge spaces here for you and those student leaders who have applied for those for those lounges. And so here at Magic, we are here to empower you throughout your graduate journey. So if at all you need any kind of additional support, please come visit us and we'll definitely help you or connect you to a resource that's available here on campus. And another expectation you can see from us is the community, the sense of community, whether you are here to either use the space to study, connect with peers, or attend any of our events, whether it's a coffee chat, a support group event, or any other event. This is your home away from home. And so we hope that you can find this space a welcoming environment. We host a variety of socials so that way you can find this space. We are right next door to the AARC. In the old dormitory area. So it's the Rohan Hall, as you have all previously heard from my colleague, Gerardo Bobadilla. It is the Rohan Hall. So here's a quick snapshot of what other services we offer here at the center. So if you have any questions, just send me a chat. Next slide. There we go. And now for the Dreamers Resource Center. So this space is dedicated for supporting undocumented students. This program / services is housed under Magic. And so you'll find that in the Magic Center, we also offer the services for the Dreamers Resource Center. We also house the wonderful Student Success Center here, as well as other various resources on campus that are housed here. So Gerardo, the one that presented previously, he's housed here as well. So he's located here at the center. This space is dedicated, like I said, to supporting undocumented students and mixed status students. We provide legal and financial guidance. We offer resources like DACA renewals, navigating financial aid, and finding other financial resources like other scholarships and grants. So all of the legal and financial guidance is offered for free, and we do have that link available on our website if you'd like to speak. As you are now a new student of CSU Bakersfield, you can actually utilize that resource as of today. In addition to that, advising and advocacy, our center is here to assist you with any challenges and connect you to the right resources. So please feel free to reach out to me at the number that you see here on the screen. And in addition to that, as part of the Resource Center for the Dreamers students, we offer a lot of empowerment workshops. So we like to provide our students with, whether they're here on the Magic side or the Dreamers Resource side, we provide students with tools to help you thrive academically and personally, and the topics vary. So as I mentioned earlier, whether it's mentorship opportunity, leadership training, those are the kinds of topics. So they really vary. And that's a unique program that we have there. We call it Dreams Without Borders. So if you're interested in that or learning more about that, please feel free to send me a chat. So in closing, both centers are open to all students, and we encourage you all to take advantage of these spaces. Remember, graduate students, well, graduate school, first and foremost, is a journey, as Dr. Fowler mentioned earlier in his slides, and I always appreciate those tips that he shares, as currently I am a graduate student myself and also serve here in this capacity. I'm in this journey with you all as well, as a second-year graduate student. So we're here not only in this capacity, but also with you and along the same steps. So we're here to ensure that you feel supported every step of the way. So feel free to stop by, introduce yourself here at the center. We have a great group of folks here advocating and supporting you. Please let us know how we can help you succeed. Together, I think we'll make your experience here truly unforgettable. So feel free to reach out to us. Next slide. And here's my contact information. The number below is my direct line and my direct email. So please feel free to reach out. Don't hesitate to ask. Thank you. And actually pretty soon, one final thought. Pretty soon we'll be sending out a list of events. So for the first week of school, which is on Tuesday, January 21st, we do have a post-inauguration for the presidential post-inauguration event. And so that information will be sent out hopefully by tomorrow. If not, you'll see the email posted on our social media page. But I see that I don't have the social media page information on this slide, so I'll post it in the chat shortly. So thank you.
As always, thank you so much, Jasmine. And we will move on to our next presenter, which is Jessica Allred. And she is here from the Health Center discussing immunization, information, and services available. Jessica.
Yes, thank you. I know we're running out of time, so I'm going to go fast. My name is Jessica. I'm a health education assistant from the Student Health Services. And I'm really glad you're here because most often we hear, I had no idea there was a health center on campus, and your student fees actually pay for most of our appointments. So I really hope that you come and visit us this semester. We are located on the south side of campus. Oh, sorry, too fast. Right across the street from the Accardo Center, we're the big brown building with all the trees around it, and the roundabout's right behind us. So I've been told it looks abandoned. If you see that building, that is us. So we are open. Please come see us. We are actually just like a regular doctor's office, but we are located on campus for you. So we have physicians, a nurse practitioner, nursing staff, referral specialists, clinical assistants, in-house pharmacy. He carries not only prescription, but also over-the-counter medications. We do in-house lab, and we offer a lot of lab results same day. And then we have our health education department. As far as our services go, we offer, this is just like a brief overview. We have more information on our website. Medical evaluations, health education, family planning services, lab tests, x-ray referrals. We don't do those in-house anymore, but you just walk right across the street and you can get them for free. First aid, telehealth, STI testing, medications, like I mentioned at our pharmacy, physicals, immunizations, and more. The nice part is that everything in red is free due to those student fees that I mentioned earlier. And then you also don't need any insurance to come and see us. We don't bill outside insurance. The only insurance that we work with is called Family Pact, and that's completely confidential. Nobody will know that you have it, and that goes towards family planning services. As far as our confidentiality goes, we do have a few things that we need to report that are required by law. But other than that, nobody will know that you come to us. We don't send any explanation of benefits out, anything like that. So nobody will know that you've come to us unless you tell them. As far as our care goes, we only offer short-term care. We don't offer like long-term care, like for pregnancy or for any long-term illnesses, things like that. We would refer you to your primary care doctor. But for basically anything else, you are more than welcome to come see us first to get an opinion. And then we do have referral specialists that we can refer you out to somebody in the community if you need anything else. I forgot to mention, sorry, as far as everything in black, we are not out to make money from you guys. So everything, the medications, physicals, immunizations, those we're going to offer to you at our cost. And so they're going to be probably less expensive than you would find out in the community thinking that you don't have insurance, outside insurance. So anyways, definitely come and see us first and see what we can do for you for free or for a very minimal cost. We do have 2 additional offerings for students. We offer our Student Health Advisory Committee. We meet once a semester and we just kind of talk about what's going on at the health center, and you can offer us recommendations if you'd like. We also have a few intern openings available. We have filled all of our paid positions, but we have some volunteer positions available if you are interested. The email address that you can email is lheadland1@csub.edu, and she can get you more information. We do also have a vending machine, and in the vending machine, we have Narcan. We also have free sexual health products, excuse me, as well as menstrual products and a few other random things. So we are open during our normal business hours. You can come and access that, which I will show you in just a second. And yeah, other than that, it's free. So I hope you use it. We are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 for both in-person appointments and drop-ins, or scheduled appointments and drop-ins, excuse me. And then our appointment hours, Monday through Friday, 8:30 to 11:30, and then 1 to 4:30. That is our phone number, and it is for both Bakersfield and AV students. If you are an AV student, we don't have a physical location on campus anymore. We're instead contracted with the local urgent care. You just have to call our front desk and then we can go ahead and get you a referral to go to them. But it's actually better for you because it's still free and you get more services. Okay, super fast. So we are on social media. There is our Facebook and Instagram handle, as well as our X handle. Our website is down at the bottom. Thank you for putting that in the chat. If you have any questions, I will stick around for a little bit. As far as immunizations go, if you are 18 and younger, feel free to reach out to me. There's only one that's required, but if you're older than 18, don't worry about it. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. And next up, let me get my finger off my camera there. Here, how do we do that? Next up, we have Diane Allford from CC, the Career Education and Community Engagement. Diane.
Great, thank you so much. And welcome students, both new and returning. We're happy to see you. So I am Diane Allford. I am the coordinator at the Center for Career Education and Community Engagement. Really long name, so we do go by the acronym CC. We are located on the campus next to the Runner Cafe. So under those CSUB letters, you'll see those doors right there. Come right through those doors. There's another set of doors into our office. And our hours are Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. We work with students and alumni on all career counseling needs. So that includes offering both counseling sessions and individual sessions. We also have recorded workshops. So we can help you with a resume or a CV development or review, interview preparation and practice, job search strategies, finding jobs, internship, volunteer opportunities, the career options, major options, graduate school exploration, you're probably past at this point. But if you do find that you want to go on even further, we can help you with that as well. We connect students with employers. So we hold career fairs several times during the semester. We have employer information sessions. So we have employers that come on campus to have information sessions about the opportunities that they have available, and it gives you an opportunity to meet with those recruiters. And some employers also do on-campus interviews. So they will come on campus to do interviews rather than making you go to their site. And then we provide access to job, internship, and community volunteer opportunities through our Handshake system, which is our online career management system. For our career counseling appointments, for current students, those are free and unlimited. We have walk-ins, which are on the Bakersfield campus. They are 20-minute quick advising. So it's no appointment necessary, first come, first serve. Those will begin the second week of the spring semester. You can see the hours here: Tuesday morning, Wednesday mid-afternoon or midday, Thursday afternoon. Again, those happen almost every week unless we have an event such as a career fair. But you can always call our offices if you're not sure before you come in. Scheduled appointments are longer appointments. Those are 45 minutes in length. We offer them both via Zoom or in person, and you would schedule those through the Handshake system. Again, as a student, those are free. We continue to offer services for alumni. You are eligible for 2 free appointments after graduation as well. For our AV students, you can schedule a virtual appointment virtually anytime on our business hours. We also visit the AV campus once per semester. The date for the spring semester has not been scheduled yet, but you can check back with us or check with the information booth at the AV campus, and they'll know and have flyers up when that gets closer. We have recorded a variety of workshops on career development topics. So everything from resume development, interview skills, LinkedIn, networking, professional etiquette, mistakes that we see in the job search process. And those are available to you 24/7 on our YouTube channel and on our website. So you will be able to find those there. You can also find the PowerPoint slides with all of the links that we discuss in those videos in the Handshake Resource Center. Again, I mentioned the career fairs. So these are opportunities for you to talk to recruiters from various organizations. So for the spring, we will have our volunteer fair, February 6th. That will be nonprofit agencies looking for volunteers to help them with the services that they provide. And then on March 6th is our largest career expo. This is all industries, all employers. We typically have anywhere from about 80 to 100 employers on campus that day. You can find more information about the hours and the employers that will be there through Handshake on the events tab. We encourage you to visit our website, csub.edu/cc. By clicking on the Student and Alumni tab, you'll be able to find the list of our events, our recorded workshops, resume and CV samples, and a lot of other resources available for you. We also, again, have our Handshake system. You can find the link to that on our website, or you can go directly to csub.joinhandshake.com. You will use your My CSUB credentials to sign in. So right on this blue log here, use your My CSUB credentials. That will get you in. Under the Jobs tab, that's where you're going to be able to find any of the on or off-campus positions, internships, volunteer, and paid positions. A lot of times you can actually apply for the positions through that link as well. Under the Events tab, you'll be able to see our upcoming events. They change frequently as employers come on campus. And on the Career Center tab, that's where you're going to be able to make those longer 45-minute appointments to meet with a career counselor. We do have social media, so we are at CSUBCC. We will keep you apprised through that of any upcoming events and anything new that's happening, as well as some great opportunities that come through our Handshake system. And this is also a QR link to our webpage. And we look forward to working with you for the spring semester and in your entire program. So again, welcome and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Diane. And next up, we have Athena Skapinakis-Wenzel, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. And she is going to present and represent the Alumni Association. Athena.
Thank you, Dr. Fowler, for always being such a great advocate for our Runner Alumni Mentor Program. I'm going to try to speed through quickly because I know we have a couple other speakers waiting. Just to give a general overview, our Alumni Association represents about 66,000 graduates. That number has probably increased since our last commencement. So that'll be updated very soon once we get that graduate import. We are located in the Office of University Advancement. That's over in the administrative west side of campus. We have 3 full-time staff and a student assistant, and we offer multiple events and programs to keep our alumni engaged with us, as well as, overseeing the mentoring program that I mentioned. This is our CSUB Alumni Association Board of Directors. They're awesome. They've been involved with campus, quite a bit, and they've chosen to come on as a board and continue that involvement engagement with the campus. And I'll go ahead and skip over that. We love to show off our alumni. So here are some alumni. Donna Barbara Higuera is actually one of our new incoming CSUB Alumni Hall of Fame inductees. So we're really excited to honor her in February. And Olivia over here is one of our alumni rising runners from the previous year, so last year. This is a way that you can stay in touch with us. Oh, I don't know what happened. So sorry. It's kind of got a mind of its own. Here we go. So this is a way that you can stay in touch with us. You can go to csub.edu/alumni and update your contact information. So that way, if you want to receive any notifications about like programs, scholarship opportunities or events, this is a great way to do that. And just continue your involvement and engagement with us, even as a graduate student. We do have scholarship opportunities for our CSUB alumni. So if you are a CSUB graduate and currently in a graduate program, this opportunity might be something that you are interested in. I highly recommend checking it out, and you can visit our webpage. Again, that's csub.edu/alumni, and just navigate over to the scholarships tab. That way you can see all of the eligibility criteria and everything that goes with that application involvement. Hey, this is our platform that we use for both formal and informal mentoring opportunities. It's also a networking site. I would say think of this as your LinkedIn, but specific to CSUB. So this network site is specifically for students, alumni, faculty, and staff of CSUB. You can search for alumni of interest and ask them any career questions. And that's kind of like the informal mentoring aspect. Alumni can network with each other, and then faculty and staff. And this is something that's open year round. So you can visit our Runner Bridge platform this way, and I will be sure to drop the link in the chat for you at the very end. This is this is what I call like my work baby. It's the Runner Alumni Mentor Program. Dr. Fowler mentioned it at the beginning of this session. It was established in 2018, and basically what it is we pair up our CSUB alumni professionals with CSUB students for a one-on-one formal mentorship experience. Graduate students are a part of this. As you can see, typically we have our students apply in the summertime, and we recently opened it up to sophomore students, as well as junior, senior, and graduate students. We have alumni from so many different majors and degree programs from CSUB, as well as different industries. Most of our mentors are still here in Kern County. A lot of our alumni remain in Kern County, which is awesome. But we also have mentors who have gone on to explore other parts of the world who are part of this program. And so they do a lot of their mentoring virtually. And we've had a lot of success with this program. So if you're looking for a mentor who can help you with resumes, interview practice, networking skills, and any career path decisions, I highly recommend this program. Again, we've had great success with it. And we're always trying to improve this program. I think it's a program that means quite a bit to me. So I work very tirelessly when it comes to making program improvements. So I'm always open to feedback about it or anything like that. And I will drop the link in the chat for this program as well. This is just a great, I would say, great opportunity for you guys to connect with people who have gone on and had incredibly successful careers, especially because I think Kern County is such a close-knit community, and sometimes it can be difficult to break into an industry that you're interested in. Because you need someone who already knows, the ropes, so to speak, someone that can help you network with the people within that industry. So that's part of what makes this program very special and helpful to our students. We have lots of fundraising events. Some of those fundraising events are Party in the Park. So we just had our most recent Party in the Park on October 18th. It was so much fun. It was a neon themed event. And events like these are basically what help us fund those scholarship opportunities and also help us maintain the Runner Alumni Mentor Program. Alumni Hall of Fame, which I mentioned previously, is another one of those events that help support our programs and initiatives. So we will be welcoming a new Hall of Fame class this February, and we're really excited about it. Here's some of our outstanding alumni. This is one of our previous Hall of Famers, Hajir Nuruddin. As you can see, she has quite a bit of educational experience, and she also is a veteran law enforcement executive with over 34 years of experience. Emily Duran, you might recognize her. She's very, prominent in the community. She works at Kern Family Health, and she's been in healthcare for over 25 years. Banka Cavazos is another one of our former Hall of Famers. And she's just been a leader in education, and she actually, she still remains connected with us today, and it's great to work with her. Matt Harris is another one. So if anyone is a film or TV person, Matt actually helped make that movie, The Starling, with Melissa McCarthy, and used to be on a writer for MTV's, if you guys no MTV at all. MTV's ridiculousness. So it's really cool that we have an alumni from CSUB who actually, you know, got to be a part of those types of film and TV shows. That's about it. Thank you guys so much for your time. So excited to have you in our graduate programs. And I'm going to go ahead and drop some of those links that I mentioned in the chat and turn it over to our next couple people.
Thank you so much, Athena. Next up, we have Kirstin Lattimore from the library. Kirstin.
All right. Perfect. Thank you. Yes, my name is Kirstin Lattimore. I'm the social sciences librarian, and I will also soon be taking over the ETD, which I'll touch on at the end there. But I just want to showcase, talk about some of the resources we have on the library webpage. Our library webpage is csub.edu/library. And from that page, you'll see our library catalog one search. If you did your undergrad here, I'm sure you're very familiar with it. We also have our library databases that you can access either via subject or the A to Z list. Quick reminder, when you're searching in our catalog, to sign in, because you actually can save your searches and queries, and you can pin resources to your accounts. That's very handy in the research process. You can also find your subject specialist for your discipline via the library webpage through research help. Just search by subject. Example, if you search social work, you would see me. I come up as the subject expert. That would be the person you'd contact if you needed any research help in your discipline. Librarians, you can make research appointments with us, or you could just shoot us an email. We can do reference that way as well. You can also find your research subject guide. So if you are lost in your research process, you're like, where do I begin? How do I start this? Like, I've got citation questions. I'm not sure like how to research for this particular topic or this course. You would want to find your subject research guide. It's going to have a lot of good information for you. It's going to have links to specific databases for your discipline. It's going to have information on certain citation style guides. So if you're social work, that would be APA citation style. What else do I want to mention? We do have group study rooms available. That is based on appointment, so you do need to book the room before you can use it. We also do have a separate 24-hour study room in the library space. So even if the library is closed, you can come in at like 9:30 at night because the house is loud and you finally are off work and you just need a quiet space. You can utilize that 24/7-hour study room. And lastly, near the end of your program, when you're finally done with your thesis, you're going to be submitting it to the ETD, which is like the electronic thesis and project depository. And you can access a web page on the process at csub.libguides.com/ETD. And if you have any questions about that process, like it's going to be a while before we were together on that, you're welcome to send me an email. My contact information is on the slide. I'll also put some of the links I mentioned in the chat for you all as well. But yes, if you have any questions about the library, or I just happen to be your subject librarian, feel free to shoot me an email. Glad to answer your questions, and thank you for your time.
Thank you so much, Kirstin. And we have one more presenter. Hang tight. I know we're moving as quickly as possible. We're running a little bit behind. But we have Ed Webb, and Ed is here from the Office of Student Involvement. Ed.
Wait and see if I can move my slides here. All right, so I'm going to do you guys a solid, and I'm going to give you one slide. So this is it. I'm going to tell you two things, how and why. Now it says I'm not talking. Can everybody hear me? Give me a thumbs up, something in the chat.
We can hear you. Thank you.
All right, cool, thank you. Okay, so two things, how and why. You should get involved
This is where you do it at Runner Involved. The web address is very easy, csub.edu/runner involved. So easy to remember. Everything that you want to know about clubs, about activities on campus, about leadership programs, everything is going to be on here. So that's the how. The why, I'm going to tell you a little story about my own history, and then I'm going to be done. I went to Fresno State back in the 80s when I came straight out of high school, was not involved in anything. I couldn't even tell you what the name of the university president was. When I was here back at CSUB in 2010 to complete my degree, I was here for 6 months and the president of the university knew my name because I was involved in clubs. Just that additional profile and the networking and the support system was incredibly valuable to me. So I understand that as graduate students, you're a little bit older, you've got more responsibilities. Most of you are going to have work responsibilities and family responsibilities. That said, I still encourage you to find some time to get involved in a club, and either as leadership or to learn from others, but to get involved and build that network. So I'm going to leave it there. My name is Ed Webb. I'm in the Office of Student Involvement. I oversee the clubs and the Runner Involved program, and you can reach me in the student union. If you don't know where that is, it's just where Starbucks is. Everybody knows that. Okay, that's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Ed. You know, I know we're over time, so usually I share a little bit more at the end, but I just want to thank all of our presenters, Martha Manriquez for organizing and help organizing the event. Also behind the scenes, we have Samantha and Abby, you know, sharing the screen and making sure everything's going smoothly, answering questions in the chat and posting links. So again, I just want to thank all of you, the presenters, everybody working behind the scenes. And then for our students, our new graduate students, welcome to CSUB. We're so glad you chose us. And we look forward to when our paths will cross as it applies to all the resources we shared here today. And please don't ever hesitate to reach out to the Graduate Student Center. We're here to support you, and you can reach out to Martha and get things started as it applies to any needs that you may have. Again, thank you so much to all the presenters, Martha and Samantha and Abby working behind the scenes, and we'll see you around campus. Thank you so much.